What up, what up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm J and we are locked in. I got a question for you. What's on your TV? It is time. Power Book 3, Episode 10, the finale of Raising Kanan. And we know there's a lot of nonsense going on. And the big thing we want to know about is what the hell happened to Detective Howard, and did Kanan really lay him down like he was supposed to? 2 in the chest, 1 in the head. But before we get into this episode, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, you can be a part of it. Hit your subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit that like button. It's the easiest thing you can do. Now, Detective Howard, he's on the ground. We got Kanan in Unique's jacket. We got Kanan putting that first shot into that chest. But did he finish him off? And this is the finale, so you know they got to leave us on a cliffhanger because we got season 2 coming up and we want to know everything. Everybody want to know, when's Ghost time? Where's Ghost coming? Where's Tommy coming? We gonna find out. But first, this is the season finale of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. We start off right where we left off. Kanan holding that steel over Detective Howard, or should I say father. And he's looking around. You hear people yelling, oh man, they shooting over there. Hey, what's going on? Me personally, if I hear shooting, if I'm in the house, I'm dropping down. I ain't got no business worried about what's going on outside, especially if they shooting. But Kanan being Kanan, it doesn't look like he finished him. He ran off. Kanan does everything he was told. When he leaves the scene, he go ahead and get rid of the gun. Now you remember Uncle Marvin was telling him, hey, break the gun down, toss it in the water. Also, on the inside of the barrel, you want to scratch it up so they can't trace back the ballistics. But if he breaks the whole gun down, throws the barrel one way, throws the trigger to another way, the clip another way, he should be good. Now he goes to a payphone a little bit outside of where the shooting is, and he's like, hey, it's done. While all this is going on, Rock, she's meeting with her mom at the church. And the reason she's here is because Kanan is supposed to get picked up from the pickup spot and then taken to the church because they're trying to build an alibi. Now, we know Kanan's grandma's here. We know Kanan's grandma, her and Raquel, they aren't really seeing eye to eye. So they're waiting on Kanan to get there. But these two, like I said, they have their little beef going on from what stems when they were younger. Now, this alibi, hey, no, my grandson was here. Because if you have an older lady, an elderly lady vouching for you, oh, he was here, you got the mom vouching, oh, he was at the church and everybody else seeing you, okay, that alibi might hold up because they did kill a cop. So this is bigger than what like a little street crime like Buck 20 was. Our boy Scrappy is the one that actually picks up Kanan. He's like, wait, you're not supposed to pick me up, Marvin is. Kanan always running his mouth like he knows what's going on. He like, man, hop in. Now, he has a change of clothes in the car because at this point, Scrappy is good. He's alive. He's back on the team. He's not a traitor. None of that. But he's like, oh man, y'all killed a cop? Because Marvin shows up and he's like, hey, you got rid of everything and give me that jacket. So Marvin starts making a little bit of jokes talking about I had to have 2 eyes on the situation Rock wanted me to do. Scrappy, he ain't trying to hear that. But all the cops are running by and Marvin's like, hey, y'all need to lay low. Get off these streets. But what's the first thing they do? Hop on the main street. Man, don't go back on the main street where you see the cops roll by. Now, the plan is to get Kanan to the church to build this alibi. But when they're driving, the cops, they block off that road. So you can't go that way. I told y'all, they hop right back on the main road. If you've seen the cops block this, go back a couple of blocks. You know what I'm saying? Go forward a couple of blocks and make your way around. But they just like, oh man, we can't get there. Damn Scrappy and Kanan. Scrappy, he's up under Marvin, and that should explain everything you need to know because Marvin is Kanan's mentor and he's on top of Scrappy, and all of them are messing up together. At the hospital, we see him pulling up with Detective Howard. I'm talking about all the cops are heading down there. When you kill an officer, especially a detective, oh man, I'm talking about all the brass, captains, chiefs, everybody's coming down here because we have one of our own in the hospital. Not one of mine because I ain't no cop, but one of our own coming in here. So you see him running in, and in the lobby, we see Jessica and Famous, and they're waiting to see Lulu. Now they go up and see Lulu. I'm wondering, why are they even sitting down in the lobby? They should have went straight up there. When they get to the room, we know Lulu, he's alive. He's up and walking around. Even though he has the smoke exhaustion, he's up, he's moving around, he's looking out the window. What is all this commotion? And y'all know Famous. He likes to act like he in the streets, but we know he ain't. He talking about, man, they brought that cop in, the one that be messing with us, Howard. He don't be messing with you. Stop trying to put yourself in that life, Famous. You ain't about that. And we know that and we've seen it. But the streets need a body, and that song is fire right now. But Lulu's like, damn, Raquel's out here risking it all because he knows a cop is shot. Oh my, I know Unique ain't doing nothing like that. It's got to be Rock. Rock meets them at checkpoint B, because if checkpoint A don't work, we got to have a fallback plan. When they get there, Scrap is like, hey, you know what I'm saying? We know we got to get your son cleaned up because this is another body he's dealing with. But hey, what about my vehicle? Any other time, I'm down to ride. I'm here for the cause, but we got to clean up my stuff. And the reason he's saying that is because they killed a cop. It's not like they killed some street dude they're not going to come looking for. They killed a cop. So he's like, hey, we got to get my car clean. And he kind of checks Rock like, you know, I'm down. But hey, all that nonsense you talking about, I got to get this clean right now. And she's like, okay, go ahead and do that. Because she's realizing, yeah, Scrap, he got his eye gouged out. And now he's picking up my son that killed a cop. You got to give Scrap some kind of credit. Before Kanan goes off with his mom, him and Scrap, they actually have a unexpected heart-to-heart. And he's like, hey, Scrap, I didn't really get that vibe from you, but you one of the realest dudes out here. Because Scrap really put his life on the line, picking up an accessory to murder, especially on a cop. So Kanan's like, yeah, man, you one of the realest dudes out here. And then also Scrap gave him credit, say, hey, no matter who your mom is, you a real soldier. Because what he did was, hey, he went to the top. Like, no matter what you do, you killed a cop. Yeah, you killed one of the other drug dealers. Whoop-de-dee-doo. Good job. But you get all the clout for being a cop killer, even though you get the worst punishment. I told y'all in the beginning, one thing we know about Kanan is he's going to mess up something. Marvin's going to miss an opportunity. Kanan's going to mess something up. Now, Rock is like 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. Y'all remember that last week? 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. Kanan, don't worry about it, Ma. I laid him down. She's like, man, come on. How could you forget the simplest thing? Now we got the police helicopters flying around, shining lights in windows. And they like, we got to get you cleaned up because, hey, time is ticking. Hey, what time was Kanan here at the church? Oh, 8:30. Well, damn, the shooting was at 8 o'clock. They gave you enough time. So you got to get there as fast as possible and in clean clothes. Detective Burke, she shows up to the hospital. Where's he at? Let me in here. And the new captain said, hey, slow your horses. I'm taking over here. She starts asking questions. Because one thing we know about Burke is she's going to dig. She's going to dig. She's going to do her job. Howard ain't going to do his job. Howard's just trying to get a bone marrow donor and meet his son that he never met and got caught slipping by his own son because of his tripping baby mama. But Burke, she wants to know, okay, what's going on? Maybe with this, okay, he got shot. Maybe if I go back to Juke and see if there's any kind of ties because we had ice cream together. So there's a lot of stuff running through Detective Burke's head right now. Here's something interesting. This right here may be a huge twist. Now, the captain, he pulls Detective Burke over and he's like, look, Detective Howard's blood type is AB. Listen to me carefully, people. It's a rare blood. Now, with him having leukemia, he would have been kicked off the force. But if he dies, his pension goes to somebody. And Detective Burke says, well, he doesn't have anybody. Now, here's a theory. If Rock can say that Kanan is his son somehow, like if Detective Howard dies, Kanan would get that pension, and that'd be some nice money. Just a theory, because they wouldn't have thrown this in here for no reason. We get to see what's going on in the head of Unique and his crew. And when we get over there, they like, man, there's some, you know what I'm saying? There's some talk out there. Unique is a cop dead in these streets. And there's some talk about you. And Unique starts to flip out because one thing you don't want your name associated with is killing the cop. And especially if you're a known dope boy. They like, okay, Unique, you're saying he has something to do with this? Because all the conspiracies, all that's going to tie together. Then they're going to really be on you. So what Unique is saying is, wait a minute. Rock told me when she was going to get me, I wouldn't never notice it because if there's a cop killed, that means all the work on the street is going to be dried up. And Unique is saying exactly what any dope boy would say. The last thing we want is a dead cop in our neighborhood because that's going to mess up all the money. So he tells them, hey, look, we're going to handle this. But whoever we got out working right now, tell them to get off the block, put all the stash up because the block is hot right now. And I'm like, Unique, let's get it done, boss. We all the way in plan B now. We was going to meet up at the church and let Kanan see grandma, but scratch that. We got to go to the bodega. Hey, what up, Julia? Hey, you remember what I told you to say? You seen the guy with the jacket. And that's it. Don't give him that tape. Now, the reason she's saying don't give him the tape is because you want the cops to actually do some work. You don't want to make it too easy for him to just go pick up Unique and then he say, nah, I wasn't there. I had an alibi. Because that would scratch it real quick. Well, he has an alibi. It had to be somebody else. So she's like, just tell him that and just tell him you didn't have cameras at work. But Rock, what she's doing is she's putting Kanan in the stash house now, and they're going to lock him up, and Marvin's going to get him and take him out of town because you don't want him in the streets. And one thing we know about Kanan, he's going to yap, run his mouth. Hey, Famous, guess what, man? We was out wading, and Famous going to say, yeah, we seen Detective Howard. Yeah, that was me. The streets need a body. No. We going to lock Kanan up, and we going to figure this out from here. Now, the streets are cracking down. And they are cracking down hard. So that means any black guy above the age of 13, you going to jail if you outside right now. Now, y'all remember the homeless guy, the guy that Detective Howard paid to get some information from. Now, he said, I seen who it was. He had on a jacket with some of them words on there. They locked him up too because, hell, he was high and he couldn't give him no information. But there's a cop that's been shot and it don't matter. Any information is better than no information. So like I said, if you are a black male above the age of 13, you better get in the house or you going to the big house. Floor 14. Marvin shows up in a janitor outfit. My boy's name is Frank now. And he's talking to the front desk. Gas leak. Floor 14. Need to get up there right now. And the guy's like, man, I ain't heard nothing like that. And Kanan, this is where he gets it from. Trying to outsmart everybody. Marvin is like, well, you know what? Well, I need you to sign here to say that I came out, but you said there wasn't no gas leak because if something explodes. So the guy's like, wait. That's the thing between Marvin and Kanan. Marvin actually made something happen when it needed to happen. I told y'all he's my favorite character and the family's going to need him. He's going to come through. So he's like, I got to get up to floor 14. The guy's like, all right, I'll sign it. Go ahead, go upstairs. We get a little update status on our boy Detective Howard. But right before that, the Captain Howard was doing exactly what I said. Hey, they could be from Jersey. It don't matter where they are. Pull their ass over. Take them for questioning. Hey, if you're over 13 and a black male, get your butt in the house and lock the door. But the surgeon also tells us it's going to be a couple more hours of surgery. He's going to lose a lung, a spleen, his liver. Oh, man. And then his cancer for leukemia. Oh. It's a lot of stuff. The captain's like, I don't want to hear that. Will he survive? He's like, yeah, I got some surgeons in there. They trying to figure that out right now. All right, Unique and his baby mama, she looking good. Hey, all respect, Unique. But he has her pull up. Her, his son, and he's like, hey, don't ask me no questions. So they going up to floor 14. They about to go in the house and they about to chill because they're looking for everybody. And word on the street is it was a guy wearing a jacket that said Unique. And who is Unique? Oh, only one of the biggest drug dealers in Southside Jamaica, Queens. Everybody was wondering what Lulu was doing with the jacket that he took from Neek a couple of episodes ago. Well, I've been telling y'all they're trying to frame Lulu if anything ever happened, and that's exactly what they're doing here. Now, Marvin broke into the apartment and he put the jacket back into the closet. Now, this is so when the police come, they'll say, hey, here's the jacket right here that says Unique on the back of it. Now, the only thing I don't know if they did was wipe off any of the blood, because you remember Kanan fell at the beginning of the episode and had blood on his hands. So theoretically, it should be like inside the gloves or on the jacket somewhere. But that's neither here or there. Detective Burke pulls up on Jukebox. And you know, Juke out here talking to the police. She ain't snitching, but she did tell Detective Burke, y'all need to look out because it's about to get dangerous on these streets. And Detective Burke, you know, her head is racing. How does this little black girl know this? Why did she tell me this? But now she's not going to tell me anything because Jukebox, I told you it's going to be pressure on her from here on out after she got close with Detective Burke. But she ain't going to fold. Hopefully she ain't going to fold. She does become a cop eventually, but that's neither here or there because right now she hasn't folded. Now, Detective Burke is like, how did you know that? Your aunt sells drugs. What about your cousin? Their name is brought up. And Juke holds it down. They ain't got nothing to do with this. My aunt sells hair. So the other detective that's with Burke, he's going through her stuff. Like, she has a couple $100 and some boy clothes. And Jukebox talking about, I wear where the fuck I want to wear. So they see a letter, too, from Nikki. You know, she hasn't opened that yet. And Detective Burke knows how that relationship is. So she tells the cop, don't open it. We have all the information we need. Go home, Juke. We're not friends. Lulu and the Puerto Ricans, they riding around town. They pull up to a stoplight. Cops is everywhere. All you hear is the streets need a body. Pull up next to him. Look like a Cutlass they in too. That thing clean. But they pull up and you got Famous in the back. Now we on a real mission here. We trying to get Lulu out of here. The streets are hiding. He back there. Oh, they playing my song. Jessica getting hyped. You hear that, babe? They playing our song. And Lulu like, yeah. But you know, he can't get too hyped because his ass is still sore from that hospital visit. And he's trying to figure out what his sister and brother and nephew are doing. Y'all remember the 2 apartments that Rock and Marvin were fixing up, and they got a body in one of them walls. But she's back. We got to move all our product tonight because the cops are out there. So this would be less likely the time for us to get caught. We got to make this happen. And like she tells her Goonies, hey, this is the first night of our life. So we got to make it happen and make it happen right. Kanan's in the bodega. He's in the stash house. He's locked up in a room looking at his hands like, damn. My hands is cut all the way up. But he starts hearing some keys jingling and some locks unlocking. Turns out it's Jukebox. Now Kanan, we know he's a scary guy. He grabs a hammer like, ooh, I was about to get at you. He wasn't gonna do nothing. They would have came in there shooting. It would have been over for Kanan. Easy target. But Juke's like, it's just chill. It's me. And she tells Julie, I'm gonna stay here with him for the rest of the night. Now you remember I told you the cops when they were searching the bag, they found clothes in there. These clothes are for Kanan to change into because when they move them, you want to have them in all the cleanest clothes as possible. Now, while they in there, Juke is talking some real shit to Kanan. She's like, you are a mess up. Everything you do, you mess up. And we've been saying that since episode 1. I looked at Kanan, I said, oh yeah, he ain't finishing school. This dude messes up everything like his uncle. But his uncle, he makes up for things. And Juke is saying that's good because you're young. You're supposed to make these mistakes, but you got to move forward. So you can't be out here looking like you shook, like you just committed a crime. You got to carry yourself like ain't nothing even happened. And this is how we're starting to see Kanan start to mold into the Kanan we knew on the Power series. Marvin's driving around the city, and I told y'all about driving on these main roads. He's getting off the highway and he runs into a traffic stop. Now, the cops are sitting there and they're just questioning everybody. And I told you, if you're over 13 years old and you're a black male, get your butt inside because they come in and they come in hard. Pause. Now, they pull Marvin over, they run his license, and they like, wait a minute, this guy has a warrant for drugs. And Marvin's like, whoa, this is a mistake. I'm talking about all the cops. They pull their guns out on him. And at this part, Marvin, he starts stuttering, but he has some sense snapping to him. He's like, all right, I'm going to get out the car. They throw him on the hood. They lock him up, and Raquel is paging him. Lulu goes to the apartments, and he's trying to talk to Rock because he's like, hey, who did this? Y'all are starting a war out here. Do you know what you're doing? And she's like, yeah, well, it doesn't matter. So now he's like, where's my brother Marvin at? She's like, I don't know. I was paging him, but he ain't answer. So then she tells him it was actually Kanan that did it. And he sits down. He's like, oh my goodness. What are we going to do now? Because, hey, it's his nephew and his brother. And Rock just out here chilling, smoking a cigarette like life is sweet. Y'all be asking who is a better mom, her or Tasha. Man, Rock is putting her kids and family all in danger every single week. Now, Lulu starts getting emotional. And he's telling, hey, Rock, I did this all for the team. Everything I did, it was for the team. But it's starting to look like you ain't really doing everything for us. You doing everything for you and your son. When I killed D-Wiz, I was like, all right, cool. But Lulu is saying at that point, he felt like, man, maybe we going too far because Rock, she's having to do some things that we should not be doing out here. And I just said she's messing it up for everybody in the family. People tried to blame Marvin for being a mess up, blame Kanan for messing up. But all of this is under the influence of Rock. She's the leader of the crew and she's putting everybody in jeopardy with everything she's doing, all because she slept with a cop when she was younger. Lulu's like, Rock, I'm with the fam, but man, look, we got to get out of this. This is nonsense. Now, what she's doing is holding everything above him. Like, oh, no. I'm not letting you leave because this is bigger than us. This is bigger than the crew. This is bigger than the family. What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine. I'm in everything that you're into. And he's like, man, we can go legit, man. We could buy up blocks. She's like, nah, that recording studio, it's got drug money on it. And he's like, hold on, wait a minute. It ain't a recording studio. It's a record label. But I mean, there is drug money in it. And he's like, look, let's just go legit, buy up some, some grocery stores, some little shops, some dry cleaners. We got the recording studio and leave all that drug money alone. But no. Rock is like, we ain't got enough. We need more. We are all investments to our future. So just like Tasha told Ghost, I want you to be the biggest drug dealer in New York City. Rock is like, I want to be the biggest drug dealer of New York City. When Ghost wanted to leave the game and go legit, Lulu wanted to leave the game and go legit, and they had enough money to do it. But Rock is like, the hell with that. We in the game. It's business time now. Whatever Lulu and Rock got going on, shh. Hey, we just got that page. It's time to move that work. Young nigga, move that dope. You remember they have the apartments on top of each other, so they're moving the dope from their floor. They're dropping it through the stove to take it down to the floor below them, and then they'll actually take it out the building. So if anybody sees Rock and them come out of that room, if they were to search it, there wouldn't be anything in there. It's already been moved through the floor below it. Detective Burke, she shows up to the bodega and it's on. Is Julia gonna fold or is she gonna hold it down for the Thomas family? They come in there. What did you see? And she's acting all nervous. I don't want any problems. And they like, no, what did you see? And she tells them it was the guy with the jacket. So she's acting like she doesn't know who it is. And it has his name on it. So Burke is like, it has his name on it. I think I met somebody. Like, oh, unique. Now the other cop, he just walking around doing whatever the hell he wants to. He sees all the locks on the door back there. He's like, what is this back there? And Julia's like, I just don't want any problems. Now, you remember she wasn't supposed to give the tape that fast, but she had to give the tape up in this instance because they seen the camera. So Burke gets it and she gives her a little heads up like, hey, we're going to go run this, but we'll have someone come back and search the place to make sure they're not running numbers or any illegal gambling going on back there. Cause you know, anytime you see 10 locks on the door, yeah, a bodega doesn't need that many locks. The cops come and raid the apartment. They're looking around. They don't find anything. Lulu's sitting here, bloody face. I don't know how his face is that bloody when he was just in the fire and the smoke. But Rock is talking to the cops. Yeah, he was in the wreck, but it's a good thing he's here. And the cops tell him, all right, we ain't find nothing here. Y'all stay inside and be safe. Lulu's just like, man, this is what I'm into. I was in the hospital. I want to get out the game. I want to go legit. But in Rock's head, she like, Lulu, you better not snitch. I told you why the cops was there. Lulu thinking like, oh my goodness, Rock done got us in some stuff. She's like, don't worry about it. I got it handled. The cops left and he's looking at her like, you got it handled, huh? If you got it handled, then why Kanan got to leave the city? And he's making sense. Like if Kanan got rid of the cop and Marvin was straight and Unique was set up, then what are we leaving for? That means it isn't handled. They got my boy Marvin down in booking. He's talking to the cops and they like, look, we got a confidential informant. He's like, who is that? They said, Marvin, if it was it wouldn't be a confidential informant if I told you who it is. And Marvin like, okay, good one. You got me with that one. Marvin is being Marvin. But they see that pager keeps going off and another cop is like, someone trying to get in contact with you. That changed up Marvin's whole demeanor. He said, hopefully they don't call that number back. Unique and his baby mama, they packing up the go bag. They about to hop up out of here. He opens up the closet and sees the jacket. He's like, wait a minute. And there's blood on here. At the same time, man, oh man, the cops kick that door down. He turns around. He got, When they say caught you red-handed, this is what they mean. Blood on the jacket. The jacket was, there's people that say Unique was out there. There's witnesses. Oh my goodness. He lucky they didn't come in shooting, but it looking ugly for Unique now. He gonna have to do some big snitching if he want to get out of this one. Would you look at this? Guess who Rock out of all people called? Hey Symphony, I'm sorry about what happened earlier. Can you pick up Kanan for me please from the bodega? He should be hiding in the lock house. I'ma give you some. If I was Symphony, I would have said, hell no, I ain't picking your kid up from there. You just told me F you when I came and checked on you and the family, and now you want me to pick your son up from some bodega out of a locked vault? No sirree, Bob. But me and Symphony, we built different. He a sucker for love. I'm a sucker for living. Kanan and Juke, they both get emotional. I know if I'm Symphony, I'm like, boy, if you don't get your narrow behind in this car so we can dip up out of here. Juke looks at him, because you know they brother and sister. Now Kanan's got to leave. And for her, she's really losing everything because her dad, he tripped out. Rock, she's doing whatever she got to do now. Kanan was like her brother and he's dipping up out of town. So it's really just going to be her. And this is probably the reason why she turned cop. I tell you, Lulu takes loyalty to another level, but that's how you gotta be sometimes. Now he's sitting there with Jessica and they're looking at the cops do whatever they do at the crime scene. And Jessica's talking about, you should just leave the game. You're bigger than Rock. You got a legit way to get up out of here. Lulu looks her in the eye and says, shut the fuck up and drive. That's my sister. He don't say that that's my sister, but that's what he's pretty much saying. Like, man, no matter what, I'm gonna be a rider for the team. He does want to get out the game, but he also wants to make sure his family is straight, and he don't want to turn his back on nobody. Juke finally opens up her letter that she got from Nicole. It kind of makes her tear up. Rock is doing Rock things, smoking a cigarette, overlooking the city. Oh, man. Why did they do this to us? Why did they do the finale like this? Symphony got Kanan. They riding off, and they headed straight to Maryland. I'm like, oh, my goodness. So that's where we're going to pick up in season 2 in Maryland? Malcolm ends up waking up Detective Burke. Is like, wait a minute, Malcolm, can you speak? Who done this? Captain, get in here. Captain's looking around like, oh shit, I never met him, but hey, glad you're here. Now they're asking Malcolm, who did this to you? And all he's doing is breathing hard, and he doesn't say no name because at the end of the day, it's still his son, and there's still a chance. Hey, I'm living. Maybe I can get that bone marrow. I got to come back for Rock since I know who actually shot me now. Now with Kanan narrating, we see Rock on the top of the building smoking that cigarette like she always do. She walks off and Kanan tells you plain and simply, in this game, you can't trust nobody. Nobody. When I tell you can't trust nobody, not even your own mother. All right, there you go. The season finale. Let me know what you think is going to happen to Marvin. Let me know you think Lulu's going to get out the game. And let me know, do you think that Detective Howard is going to tell that his son, his flesh and his blood, shot him? Hey, that's Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, the finale. Man, it was a good one. This series was way better than I expected it to be. I know a lot of people were talking early saying it was boring. I have to disagree with them. The build-up was good. They left us on the finale cliffhanger. So season 2, we're probably going to be down in Maryland. We might get to see Ghost and Tommy. He may be gone for a couple years. We don't know. But hey, I'm Modi J. If you like the content on the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I got a question for you. What's on your TV?
Jimmy on the beat, boy.